And so with something like this, with traditional manual trading where you're trading your time for dollars on the charts, there can be quite a steep learning curve. It takes a long time to reach a level of proficiency where you're consistently profitable, whereas artificial intelligence never gets tired, it's never late for work, and it never demands a pay raise. And with machine learning, it can potentially get better over time, and that's what we're seeing here. So 664% gains, you're going to understand by the end of this presentation how you can potentially choose to align yourself with this project and experience similar results. However, it's not a guarantee, and past performance is not a guarantee of future results. It can be a predictor and a potential guide, but we can't give guarantees, my friends. And anyone that is giving you guarantees in the financial world, you should run in the other direction, because there's always going to be things outside of our control, external factors that can influence financial markets, black swan events, global macroeconomic events. However, with the proper risk management, with the proper team behind you and managing money, it's possible to survive and thrive in this economic winter that we're potentially coming into here. And so just imagine what's possible if you could earn reliable compounded profits through fully audited systems. So this isn't something that fell out of the sky yesterday. What you're about to hear about today has been time tested and battle tested. And so today we're going to cover the next generation of crypto and Forex AI trading, with a primary focus being on Forex, and you'll see why in a moment. Trading performance track records, the mind behind a company known as Indotech. We're going to go through her credentials, the vision here, and we're going to connect the dots for you. We're going to see how you can get access to this multi-billion-dollar institutional grade trading company, your benefits, what's in it for you, and explain the model, exactly how it works, and show you how you can be taken by the hand and guided through how to get started, even if you're brand new to this world. And so this next generation of AI-powered trading has never been done before. You're about to see how it is being funded here in a moment and how you can be a part of that. But we're using artificial intelligence to take established algorithms that are already successful and take them to the next level. And you can potentially profit along the way as that unfolds. And the goal is to create the #1 AI-powered trading performance in all major financial markets. So not just foreign exchange, but also commodities, indices, potentially even stock trading in the future. This project is being developed by a company called Indotech, a breakthrough AI company founded and led by Dr. Anna Becker, who we got to the privilege of hearing from here a few days ago here in Dubai, and she shared some incredible insights into what we have helped fund, what we have helped develop, and the breakthroughs that they've had with their artificial intelligence. And so this has previously only been available to quant hedge funds, institutional investors, accredited investors, but the financial barrier to entry has been obliterated, and you're going to see how it is now available and accessible to everyone. And so the Forex trading, foreign exchange trading, powered by AI, had a phased rollout back in April of 2022 and was fully live in May with 100% of the capital that was contributed. And so this trading can average anywhere from 5 to 8%. Now, again, that's not a guarantee. You can have a week as low as 1-2%. You can only get what the market gives you. No 2 days or no 2 weeks in the market is the same. And if you force it, you'll get burned. And so sometimes it's better to stay out when there's high volatility and when there's low liquidity, certain situations, and the AI can help us understand when to get in and when to stay out. And there's new strategies in development as this unfolds. So this is a testing and development fund that we're talking about here right now in this current phase. As mentioned, over 664% profits in the just over 9 months. That's compounded returns. That's where the money that your money's earning is earning you more money. It's not linear, it's actually compounding over time, and that's why the results can be that high. It's actually sitting at 695% right now as we speak. Developed by Dr. Anna Becker, as mentioned, who we'll dive into here in a moment. And one of the nice things about this is that it's fully diversified trading strategies. So it's not dependent on any one strategy. If you're familiar with Forex trading, we're not trading against the trend. We're not counter trend trading. There's no martingale here or scaling or whatever fancy term you want to put on it. We're not going against the trend here. Some of it is scalp trading. Some trades will only last a few minutes, some a few hours, and then swing trades could potentially last weeks. And so there's intensive multi-layered risk management. So not only is there more than one Forex broker behind the scenes, but every single currency pair and every single strategy has its own sub-account segmented inside of the Forex broker. In other words, any one trade, for example, a trade on Euro USD, if that was to go against us, it can't affect the entire trading fund. It can only affect potentially the capital that was allocated to trade that particular strategy, that particular currency pair. Therefore, it's a great way to mitigate risk, having these sub-accounts in the broker. And it allows us to scale as well, because you can't just, scale indefinitely to a $10 billion trading fund in some brokers and just place a trade. By scaling laterally like that, it allows us to continue to grow this fund. And so less than 15% drawdown, actually, I believe that was only on one occasion, but honestly, it has been on average across all the strategies, less than 5% drawdown, anywhere from 2 to 3%. And low leverage as well. Some of you may have used, and some people call them expert advisors or algorithmic trading softwares, and that's not what we're talking about here. This is on a totally different scale, but most of them you're using anywhere from 1 to 200, sometimes even 1 to 500 leverage, which means you're borrowing money, a lot more money that you don't have from the broker. And brokers are not in business to lose money. And so they'll close out all your positions if you don't know what you're doing. And people over leverage themselves all the time in Forex. They get greedy, they get, they let their emotions get in the way of rational decisions when it comes to trading, and most people get wrecked. Whereas here we're using very low leverage, 1 to 50, and as low as 1 to 10 in a volatile week. And not only that, but you have the incredible mind of Dr. Anna Becker, keeping one eye on this fund as it develops too, and her entire team. And that's an incredibly powerful leverage point for you. You don't have to go through the learning curve. You don't have to stay up till 4 a.m. looking at charts till your head hits the keyboard asleep. Here you can actually put your money to work while you're asleep and have a professional team look after things and develop this in the background. And her team of scientists have now developed well over 20 proprietary systems that are currently in operation, serving as the AI investing backbone at more than 150 investment firms across US, Europe, and Asia. You can do your own due diligence on Anna Becker. At the age of 20, founded an approximation algorithm by a factor of 2. Not 100% sure what that means, but it sounds cool. She has a PhD in artificial intelligence from the Technion Institute and has founded and sold several AI companies in the fintech space. This is important, my friends. If you're going to, the word artificial intelligence, you may have noticed, gets thrown around as like a marketing buzzword. There's so many anonymous programs that are here today and gone tomorrow pretending to be using AI, and it's all nonsense. Whereas here, you could dive into her record. She has a PhD in artificial intelligence from the Technion Institute. We have all her academic papers listed on the Technion Institute website. She's written books on the topic of machine learning, and she's already did multi-million-dollar exits with Forex companies. Even one of them was with Mr. Bollinger in 2003. You can look it up on Crunchbase. So she has deep level understanding and connections in the foreign exchange trading space, and that's been reflected in the results. For over a quarter of a century now, she's been recognized as a pioneer leading scientist in the field of AI and financial technology. And her publications have been integrated into many of the leading AI financial circles across Europe and America. Her deep learning algorithms manage well over $1 billion of assets under management and have been deployed in managing institutional monies for over a decade. And the reason we're sharing all this with you is that to help you realize that first of all, Indotech didn't just fall out of the sky. It's been around since 2012, as you can see here. It's a $200 million AI financial technology company known as a SaaS company, software as a service. They're a technology company that provides software for institutions up until 2018 and now moving into the retail trading space. And it is a pre-IPO valuation of over $2 billion. Keep that number in mind, because later on in this presentation, we're going to discuss how you can get access to Indotech, how you can get access to Indotech trading through a revolutionary model. And that valuation of the company is important because we're going to show you how you can actually own a piece of Indotech along the way. So again, it didn't just fall out of the sky. We can share with you the certificate of incorporation. It's been around for over a decade now, battle tested in the markets and in the financial markets. And it has helped retail institutional investors harness the power of AI algorithms to capitalize on market volatility, currently providing trading systems, as mentioned, for top financial institutions, hedge fund managers, and accredited investors. So the initial public offering is scheduled potentially for this year. It could happen in 2024. We can't give a guarantee. It's a moving target. There's a lot of regulation involved. There's a lot to bring together to make it happen, but that's the goal, to eventually get public, and a target of 500 million, $500 million assets under management. We're going to dive into the granular details of where the funds are currently at with Daisy. So it's audited by one of the big four, Ernst & Young, and has a proven track record of high performance results. Literally hundreds of thousands of investors are now tapping into institutional grade solutions, previously only accessible to the elite banks. And unless you've got some private handshakes behind the scenes and you're around the right people, you can't normally get access to this kind of thing. And so the vision is to create the world's leading AI trading performance in multiple financial markets, as mentioned, give the masses access to dependable, high return trading systems. High return does not happen without high risk. Anyone that says otherwise is deceiving you, because you can't get rewards without risk. That's just a universal law. But to be able to break down those financial barriers and reach the masses with this kind of technology, you're about to see how Indotech has created nearly 200,000 raving fans and an overnight future customer base, thanks to an incredible crowdfunding model here. IPO, as mentioned, target of 500,000 assets under management, and once you understand the compound effect, you'll see how that's very plausible and possible, and we're well on our way there. Actually over 300 million right now. So that was a lot of information. Let's give you a bit of insight into the trading company that is working with this trading fund. But now, how are they going to accomplish this? How are they going to achieve these targets and these goals? And how are you going to benefit from it? We're going to do it through an innovative, disruptive model using groundbreaking technology, something that's never been done before. We were just at the event for this technology, and it's known as Daisy. Daisy stands for Decentralized AI System, and it is a crowdfunding model, an equity crowdfunding model that's built on the blockchain. So let's unpack that sentence a little, because there's a lot of words there. First of all, you might be familiar with crowdfunding. If you cast your mind back to the early pioneers of donation-based crowdfunding like Kickstarter and Indiegogo, normally you were crowdfunding an idea or some form of innovation, which is fine, but normally the reward for you on the other end was quite measly and minuscule, and there wasn't a huge financial incentive for you to contribute large amounts of capital into those types of things, and they're reliant on large quantities of crowdfunder. Traditional venture capital, private equity, that kind of thing, crowdfunding used to have a bad stigma around it. It used to be perceived as something, as a last resort for entrepreneurs looking for venture capital, because it meant that perhaps VCs had already gone through the details and turned down providing venture capital. However, that stigma has completely been obliterated. Equity crowdfunding alone is $4 billion a year and has given rise to I believe 7 unicorns. A unicorn is a company that has grown to a valuation of over $1 billion. And there's been 7 of them through the crowdfunding model now, and hundreds of multi-million-dollar companies, even 9- and 8-figure companies. Equity crowdfunding really started to rise in prominence around 2012 with the Jobs Act, and that loosened the stranglehold that securities laws had on ways for entrepreneurs to raise capital. So equity crowdfunding allows you to own a piece of the company that you believe in, that you're getting behind, or a project that you're getting behind. But we're going one step further here. We're decentralizing it, which means there's no centralized control. No one person necessarily owns it. We've all got full transparency to every financial transaction because it's all built on the blockchain through smart contracts. Smart contracts can be thought of as digital handshakes or digital agreements that are codified laws on the blockchain. And so Daisy's not limited to Indotech. Indotech is the first project to be crowdfunded through this crowdfunding model. However, it's the current project. There's another one that just went live not so long ago. It's still in a beta phase, however, but we're currently crowdfunding them for the development of their Daisy AI project. And if you'd like to geek out on some granular details, we encourage you to go through the white paper at your own pace. You're going to be blown away by just how advanced this is. Crowdfunders receive equity in Indotech and real-time rewards potentially from the trading results. So Daisy's not a trading platform. Daisy is a crowdfunding platform. Daisy does not hold any money. Daisy's just smart contracts that use code to move capital where it's meant to go. And we can see it's fully transparent. Everyone can see exactly what's happening on the blockchain. Trading happens with Indotech. So your contribution to the crowdfund, the portion of that that's supposed to go towards your share of equity goes to your share of equity. The portion that's supposed to go into live trading for purposes of testing and development goes there. And that's the thing. We are crowdfunding the testing and development of this technology. We're pioneers of this technology, and we'll get to reap the rewards for a long time when it reaches the finish line. So we're leveraging the power of community to back breakthrough financial technologies, using a business model where everyone wins with profits, equity, and income. And that community is almost at 200,000 members right now. So you may be asking yourself, what's in it for you? What are the benefits for you? Let's unpack it. There's really 2 primary things. The first one is ownership. You get to own some equity, potential return from selling equity stock, receiving dividends in the future. So again, if you think of other forms of equity crowdfunding, like Seed Invest or StartHinge and other platforms, again, you're crowdfunding an early stage startup, whereas here, we're crowdfunding an established company, helping them build a big retail user base and helping quantum lead them to their biggest projects to the finish line in record time. And that's what's in it for them. So AI trading rewards, potential rewards from successful performance of Indotech's AI algorithms. As mentioned, no two days, no 2 weeks in the market are the same, my friend. But if you zoom out with the vantage perspective and extrapolate out over a long enough interval of time, we'll start to see the law of averages play out. Don't look at any one day or any 1 week. Why was there no trades today? Why was there more trades last week? The AI is smarter than us when it comes to trading. It knows why it got in. It knows why it didn't get in. For all we know, there's macroeconomic events influencing currency pairs, and it's better to stay out because it's not just about what you make, it's about what you keep, and we all want to be here for the long term. And that's one of the things you'll find with our community here. We're very careful about what we offer and recommend because you trust our leadership and our judgment, and we want to make sure that you are aligned with something that is going to be here for the long term. There's no point just getting a flash in the pan, making a few quick bucks and getting out. None of us are here for that. And so the track record's very impressive. There's literally millions of transactions on all the smart contracts. If you know what you're looking for, you are looking at, you can interrogate them. Over 180,000, it's I think 195,000 now since January of 2021. So Daisy has been around for 2 years, had the 2-year, I guess you could say, birthday there last month. And there's been over 148 million USDT in profits, which is a record breaker for this model of crowdfunding, and over 180 million, or sorry, $81 million taken off the table by the community, literally withdrawn into their own decentralized crypto wallet, free to spend on what they want or to compound whatever they want to do with it. Crypto AI launched in January of 2021. We launched with Indotech's Crypto AI project. However, the cryptocurrency market, as you may have noticed, very volatile, in its infancy. A lot of regulation, uncertainty around regulation, how that's going to roll out. We were actually at a Blockchain Life event over the last 2 days, heard some interesting insights into how the cryptocurrency market's going to evolve. But compare that to Forex, we've got decades of, I guess you could say, trading history to go by. It's well established. There's very, very deep liquidity, and it's easier to get diversified, and that's been reflected in the results. So with crypto, when we launched, we actually earned as high as 120% return at one point, did give the majority of that back to the market. And last year was an absolute cataclysmic bloodbath crypto winter, in that there was some major black swan events with exchanges and different things going down and ripple effects from that. So we're still beating the market. The crypto fund is beating anyone that was holding Bitcoin or Ethereum from January 2021. And not just that, but actually $30 million was migrated from the crypto trading fund into Forex trading fund, which has now earned over 105% compounded returns, that money that was migrated. So over 13 million was left in the crypto trading fund to continue developing and unfolding the technology. They are going to nail it, but the cryptocurrency market has some work to do too. It's only a 13-year-old. So Forex AI launched April 2022. The equity crowdfunding model allows you to contribute to the development of Indotech's trading. As mentioned, 2 contribution categories, and your contribution happens in what we call levels or tiers. We have detailed videos describing how this works, but this is just to simplify for the smart contracts to having fixed dollar amounts as opposed to arbitrary numbers. It allows them to code it all in advance into the smart contract and not deal with random computations. So 10 contribution levels for each category, starting as low as $100 and no cap on how much you want to contribute to the crowdfund. 70% of tiers 3 to 10 is used in live trading for the purpose of testing and development. We'll talk how you can get actually 20% more into live trading here in a moment. 70% of trading profits are rewarded to you as the contributor. So one of the nice things about Indotech is that you only pay when you profit. Indotech has a financial incentive to continue to make this as good as possible, because that's their primary source of revenue, comes from a profit share. So if you don't make profit, Indotech doesn't make profit. And so 30% goes there, but you get to keep 70% for something that you didn't have to build, something that you didn't have to work for, and you're leveraging a team basically with decades of experience to trade for you. I'd pay for that all day, every day. Contributors are also rewarded with their share of 5% equity in Indotech prior to it going public. Again, we can't give a guarantee what shares are going to be worth. You know, the price could come out of the gate flying, or there could be a price correction when it goes on to the stock exchange. But getting to own a piece of this company long term could be very powerful. And so let's zoom in a bit on what it looks like to contribute. Tier 1 is now 200 USDT. 50% goes into live trading, and so your total in trading will be 100. And here along the left-hand side, you'll see this tiered structure. Tier 1 and 2 are the same value, but then from there on out, they double the previous tier. So tier 3 is 400, tier 4 is 800, and so on. These must be purchased in sequential order. You can't jump ahead. You can't come in and buy tier 5 in isolation on its own. You come in the front door with tier 1. That is your registration with Daisy, the purchase of tier 1. You confirm it on the smart contract and it gets distributed. You'll see the total in live trading as you go down the third column there. So it accumulates as you're buying the tiers. you can go and rebuy any tier that you already own as many times as you want. We'll show you in a moment why you might want to consider doing that if trading here and getting as much into trading as possible is your primary focus. So you see from tier 3 onwards, really tier 3, to be honest with you, is where the action starts. I encourage you minimum to come in at tier 3, because as you see in the second column, 70% goes into live trading. That's significant. And this is where equity shares in Indotech start. And so over time, when we launched, tier 1 used to get you a share in Indotech, but as the valuation of Indotech has continued to grow and to prevent dilution, now the first point of access to shares in Indotech begins at tier 3. This is a good sign. Those that bought tiers early, back in the early days, their shares have increased in value. And so there was a big announcement at the event, an extension of something very powerful that created actually huge momentum back in December of last year, $45 million in contributions in 1 month in December. And this is available until the 31st of May, 2023. So you might want to take note, write down that date. These momentum packs are powerful. They do exactly what it says on the tin because it places up to 90% into the live Forex trading while still receiving the same amount of equity shares in Indotech. That's very powerful. That additional 20% going from 70 to 90% is significant. You have more capital working for you. You have more capital that can start to compound that much sooner, grow your trading account. So tier 3 members and above are eligible. This is another incredible update. It used to begin at tier 5, but look, there's a lot of countries in DAISY all over the world that, to be honest, tier 5 was just somewhat financially out of reach, whereas the barrier has now been dropped, which allows tier 3 members and above and really opens up to a whole new world of opportunity for so many people. And so you see there from tier 3, 90% of these tiers going into live trading. So what is a momentum tier? You still have to buy tier 1 to tier 3, and then you can rebuy tier 3 as many times as you want, and 90% will go into live trading. So whether you want to go all the way to tier 7, tier 8, whatever the case may be, anytime you rebuy one of those tiers, repurchase it, go back and buy it again, 90% is going to go into live trading. So this is very powerful. You can sit there rebuying. If you're a big contributor, you can sit there rebuying tier 10 as many times as you want. We've people doing that. We've some people put in $500,000, $1 million into this. Some people put in $500 or anywhere in between. Get in where you fit in. Don't over leverage yourself. Don't use money that you need next week to eat and pay the electricity bill. So play smart, my friends, but at the same time, you know, you want to put a significant enough in here to actually start to see some results. And so whatever that happens to be for you at your current, wherever you currently are, we encourage you to do so. And these momentum tiers are very powerful because, again, it's obvious, it's just pure simple math. More capital is getting into live trading, you're still getting the same amount of shares and equity in Indotech. So if any of this isn't clear, please ask in one of our chats or reach out to the person who invited you to this presentation, and they'll be happy to share more details on this. It'll all make more sense as you go through our step-by-step tutorials that show you how to get involved in DAISY. As mentioned, you're receiving the same number of shares as a regular tier. And let's just finish on some results here, my friends. We're actually at 10 months right now, but if you look at those stats along the left-hand side, you can see 129 million in contributions. Current balance of the fund, it's now actually over 300 million, over 200 million in profits earned. There's actually more profits than has been contributed to this model. So people have earned more than they've put in globally through the entire crowdfunding model. We're over $75 million in just the Forex trading fund that has been withdrawn in profits. Some people decide to compound till they reach 200–300% and then pull out their initial principal. Some people just let it ride. all the way. Some people want to withdraw their profits every week. Whatever your strategy is, you can withdraw profits between 8 p.m. UTC Friday and 8 p.m. UTC Sunday while the Forex market is closed, which reduces the amount of interference if there's any live open trades being held over the weekend, and it'll hit your crypto wallet on the Monday morning. And there's never, you don't have any worries here, guys, when it comes to withdrawals or anything. You're not requesting from a human being. None of this really has any human intervention. When you're contributing, it's all happening over the blockchain. It's all coded, and that's one of the nice things about it. It really offers that transparency and visibility while maintaining anonymity.